Welcome back to the channel. Now it's the day where we're going to attempt to lift these trusses that we've already put together here on the ground up onto the garages. And just like the British weather, you can always rely on it. Today it's wet and windy. When we put these together it was dry and calm. So anyway, we just got to try and get on with it. Obviously if the crane driver turns around and says it's too windy, we can't do it, we'll have to put it off for another day. That's just building, I'm afraid. So the process is going to be, we are going to put a tower scaffold up inside the garage, the first one. We will then lift on the first pair of trusses, we'll brace them and we'll get the purlins flying over the top, and then we'll move on and repeat the process in the second garage. It's going to be interesting. I think with all these things we just have to take our time, take great care, and just let the crane do the work. So they look majestic, these trusses, absolutely beautiful. You can see all of the plastic protective sheeting around. I'm glad I got that on. It's important you just protect the work as much as possible. I can feel the wind blowing the camera around. Okay, so yeah, the crane is going to track up here. It's a small spider crane on tracks. He's going to track up and plonk himself somewhere where he can get the reach that he needs to lift the truss and get it up and in. Now the trusses are, each one is dead central of the garage door openings. And to make it easier for us is I'm going to cut a block of timber or a length of timber, two, one for the front, one for the back, and I'll screw that down. When we land the trusses, all we have to do is push the trusses up against the side of the timber. Then I can unscrew it, remove the timbers, repeat the process on the other one. And that should save any messing around up there, because once they're landed, they're not moving anywhere. They are so heavy. So that's what we're going to do. So we've got the crane coming in. He's just literally tracking his way in now. Nice to meet you. Good. How are you?
So there was no messing around. Alan got straight to work getting his crane set up, and it was a really fast process. In fact, it was so fast, by the time I'd got myself ready, Dan had already got one of the first trusses stropped up with Alan. It was like I turned my back and they were ready, and I was then frantically getting the ladders out and sorting everything out, ready to land the first truss.
So I've not got my mics in, they're working so quick I haven't had a chance to put them in, but I will put them in for one of the lifts. All right, Dan?
All good?
Yeah.
Yep, we're getting there. Second truss.
Second truss, yeah.
So far, so good.
Alan's doing a great job. Happy?
So far.
Still got a cold today, so...
I do. I can talk a bit better than yesterday, though.
Yeah. So we've got the first one in, and this is the second one in that pair. So we just got to lift it, and it's going quite well. The wind seems to have eased up.
Yeah, and these are quite heavy, so yeah. it's not too bad. But
how heavy are they again? About 400?
450.
Yeah, half a ton.
Yeah, something like that. So
amazing how it all holds up under its own weight as well.
Yeah. I just strap the end for a bit of safety, put the guide rope on there,
yeah,
good to go.
And then we'll get up there. We'll shift the scaffold in a minute, and then we are looking good. It's almost gives you a little bit of anxiety, something like this. It's just a natural reaction. Do you know what I mean, Dan?
It never leaves you.
It never leaves you. All this experience I've had like so many cranes over the years, but it's nice to have someone like Dan who's
we can share the burden.
Yeah,
together.
share the burden. Here she comes. So the name of the game is just be a bit mindful of it. It looks like it's coming perfectly over in the right direction.
What's the line like? That's good. The line's good. That way, a foot.
Lovely and straight these, Dan.
Beautiful. Right, let me get mine close.
It's handy having that bit of wood there, I think.
Down there, Alan. Steady, nice and steady. Whoa. Okay, down gently. You good, Robin?
I'm looking good here, mate.
Whoa. Okay, down there. Whoa. What are we looking like? Good?
Yeah, I think it was just a little...
Little tap on the wall or something?
Yeah, I'll give it a little tap towards you. You all right? You locked in there?
Yep.
It's just a little bit on the tight side, but it's going to go because it's already under its own weight.
Are you on that block the other side? Or
Here?
Are you clear? Yeah, you on that?
I'm against it.
Yeah? Good.
Yeah, we're against it, yeah. So at the moment, Dan, I've just got...
Do you need the persuader? Do you want this one?
Yeah, that's what we need, and it's going to rock in. You just tap here, gently. Gently. That's it, that's it. That's it, we're located now.
You got tension on those straps, are we?
Yeah, I reckon we could probably just lower it a little bit now, just a hair. Down a hair,
Down
a tiny bit. Yeah, it's going lovely. Perfect.
Okay.
Absolutely
there, mate.
spot on there. Get the brace on.
Let's do it.
That was lovely, Dan. That was absolutely perfect. All this hard work's going to pay off. That looks absolutely mint. Right, we're going to get a brace on that now. So hold it parallel to the other one, which we've marked a brace already. Okay, let's get that brace fixed on. That will hold the tops roughly where we want them. Nice and solid, this old scaffold, anyway.
It's not bad, is it?
No. It's because it's directly on the ground, not on wheels. Cheers, mate.
Pulled it over, fantastic.
Get the scaffold over, shall we?
Yeah.
Then we'll have to have a cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
Wherever you want. Right, I'll get that batten on. Yeah, I can get
Do you
that.
need a little pull?
No, I can get that.
Yeah. Yep, just test it, give it a little...
It's rock solid. One sec, Alan. All right.
I'll strop up the purlin and send it up.
Might as well, mightn't we?
If you just
Remove
bring the handrails down.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I'm happy with that. That's a pair of trusses in.
Could we skew that tower so we can access both ends?
I reckon we could. I reckon we could, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't got to get that close, but as long as we can.
Yeah, I'll drop these rails a little bit.
Okay. Let me just prepare this and I'll.
All right, take your time.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll do once the other end
That's
goes.
seated.
Yeah.
And then
I'll give you that for a second, Dan. I'll get the scaffold moved over. That's it. Right, I've got all my kit up here now. I need to get my pouch on later. It's all happening so fast.
you just tell me what you need doing and we'll do it.
Up a tiny hair.
Up?
Well, not really, actually.
Okay.
I reckon it's going to probably...
Bit of weight off.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hold it.
John the sledgy.
Yeah, I'll hold it here, Dan. I think you come up. Tony wants a tap.
Tappy from the toppy.
Just a tappy from the top, you can see what's going on.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my goodness me.
That, Dan, is amazing. Look, tell him to take the weight off a bit. Yeah, it's a bit on the tight side. Just a hair, that's it. Tiny one more. That's it. That's good.
I think it's good when there's two of you with experience.
Yeah.
It does just ease.
Well, especially.
You never lose that feeling.
Yeah,
though.
it's experience and also another set of eyes.
Yeah.
Then Dan sent me the next purlin up and I got this one in. It was fantastic feeling those joints going together. All of this has been made, as you know, by Dan in his workshop, and if you think he just had a big lorry load of oak turn up and he's machined it all by hand in a lot of cases with just small power tools. pretty amazing. And then I was using stainless steel heavy duty timber fixings to actually secure them in place, but they weren't going anywhere, I can assure you. And then it was just a matter of getting ready to do the other side, which involved taking the scaffold back down. Of course, Dan was on the ground moving some stuff around. I also took off those timbers that I put on, which locate the position of the trusses, and we didn't really need to sort of measure anything then. We used the spirit level obviously to plumb the first of the trusses up and brace it. Once we did that, we just used parallel pieces of battening which we'd cut to go from truss to truss to secure them in situ. So it was really straightforward. And now we've got the next truss coming up, and I actually fixed a camera to it, so this is basically like the truss view, if you like. So the truss is being lifted up, and we had a rope on them on one corner because even though the wind had dropped, they still swung around a bit, so we just had to be a little bit on the careful side. But yeah, it was fantastic to actually get this perspective once I saw the footage of what it looked like from above. In the ideal world, I'd love to have got my drone out, but it was all happening so quickly. With a job like this, you just need to get cracking and get it done, because the weather could turn, it could start raining, and it was particularly windy first thing, and so thankfully that stopped. The wind stopped. Anyway, you might be thinking, why haven't I got a scaffold round? But again, if you look at the position of the crane, it would have been a bit of a hindrance here, so we decided we'd be better off to land these trusses without all the scaffold poles sticking up in the way, because that could have been even more dangerous. So yeah, this is what we decided to do. So we repeated the process and we got the next two trusses in, and this is just the final part of getting the purlins across, which was basically a carbon copy of garage number 1. It was great actually. I mean, Dan was basically feeding me what I needed. I was up on the scaffold, as you can see, and it was just a matter of letting those joints go together. A little bit of a whack basically, if you can imagine the weight of it, and also the fact that even though we've hitched them on the angle, you know, the actual trusses, so they're actually being lifted on the angle, the load is all wanting to go through the bottom of the housing, so it did take a little bit of a wallop. And the thing is, you want the joints to be fairly tight, so you can't be sort of frightened of it. And then once that was in, it was a matter of then popping the strops off, chucking those down to Dan on the ground, and then going round the back. Dan then went off, and you can see that he's got the next purlin ready for me. I'm now going round the back to get ready to receive that. So it was non-stop, and by this time it's not even lunchtime yet, and we've got most of the work done.
This one's a little bit curvy, so we've got to really work with it to get it flat and straight, and it's 175 by 175, and it's a bit of a lump, but as it's square, believe it or not, it'll still have a bit of flex. So I've not braced the back to allow me to sort of wiggle things and get them across. I better get up there because they're waiting for me. Lovely. That one is there. Well, that's it. Alan's off now. He's done his bit. Wonderful little crane, isn't it, Dan?
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, makes life easy.
Yeah, I mean,
It really does.
if you tried to do that manually, it was impossible. Even with genies, you couldn't do it because you'd have to put them things together up there.
Yeah, it's just not safe.
No.
So that's absolutely fantastic. You can get anywhere,
Yeah.
in and out.
And of course, we had them all together flat, which is the ideal scenario.
Yeah. Again, do all the prep, and then half a day, done.
Yeah. So are you happy with it?
Very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, until the last piece is in though. I don't
Yeah.
want to celebrate, but it's always nice when it clicks together. And
Yeah.
by rights it should, but you
Yeah.
never know.
No.
Because obviously you've got to get your bit right, and
Yeah.
we're relying on each other to
Yeah.
get each part correct.
And to think this has started from a drawing, The drawing went to the ground worker. The ground workers built what they should. Then we checked the measurements. Then I said to you, this is the overall front to back. This is the overall left to right. And although the left to right is not so critical because you can let your beams run on, the front to back is, because everything now is jointed and locked in. So I'm chuffed, I'm really pleased. And it's like in construction, when you're working with people who are on the same accuracy level, there's no reason why it should go wrong.
Absolutely.
You do have to allow tolerances as well, especially when I'm using wet sawn timber. When you stack panels together, if you don't allow a few mil to pull them up tight, the chances are you're going to gain a few mil here and there.
Sure.
And yeah, so it's gone brilliantly, Dan. Now it's over to me.
Over to you.
While you go back to the workshop.
That's it. Do the link now.
Do the
with
link.
all the oak rafted, so that should be quite nice.
Yeah.
Another couple of trusses in there.
Yeah, lovely little
couple
trusses.
of purlins, top
Yeah.
beams.
And I'm going to build gables and rafters and get all this across. Nice barn ends on the far ends. And I can't wait to get stuck into that now.
Look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Anyway, mate, you're a genius and a gentleman. And
Likewise.
we'll all catch you soon.